Evening, everyone. It is time for baseball on the Sunshine State, which means that baseball in the Queen City isn't far away. The first spring training workout for Reds pitchers and catchers today in Sarasota, and 7 early arrivals are in camp as well, including a healing Ken Griffey Jr. and a healing Adam Dunn, both working off end-of-season injuries, as is the captain Barry Larkin, back for his 19th and final season with the Reds. Dave Miley gets to run the show from the get-go this time, and he hopes that he gets to play with a healthy squad for once.
I feel great. Last year I tore a ligament in my hand, and so I had some frustration in myself, but and a couple of muscles in my calf. But I think you can go down the line as far as guys with injuries, and everybody here seems to be in shape. Everyone took their physicals the other day, and everybody got a clean bill of health. So we're ready to go.
Good to know. Reds have agreed to terms with several guys that will make you grab your scorecard. Righty Matt Belisle, infielder William Bergolla, righty Juan Ceros, lefty Phil Dumitre, infielder Edwin Encarnacion, righty Josh Hall, righty Luke Hudson, infielder Tim Hummel, righty DJ Maddox, and righty Brian Reith, all now in the fold. Evening, everyone. It would have been a perfect ending to a 60-year career with the Reds, but capping it off with a Hall of Fame induction for Joe Nuxhall is going to have to wait. This year's Ford C. Frick Award goes to the original voice of the San Francisco Giants, Lon Simmons, who was in the booth for 41 years before he retired in 2002. This is Nuxie's 38th and final season as the Reds broadcaster. The Cincinnati icon, one of the 10 finalists to enter the broadcast wing in Cooperstown, a wing partner, Marty Brenneman, entered in 2000.
You always feel like you got a chance, but when I saw really Lon Simmons, as I said, was my prediction at the outset, because he's been with the Giants for so long, and I think he did some Oakland baseball too, and so he's very deserving.
Well, the sun came back out today in Sarasota after rains forced players inside yesterday. The worst defensive team in baseball last year is trying to get back to fundamentals. I need to believe that they can finally stay healthy as well. Kerry Wood and the Reds have Aaron Harang. On the same day, Chicago locks up one of its horses for the next 3 years. The Reds sign Harang and outfielder Willie Mopena to one-year deals. That leaves just 13 unsigned players down in Sarasota, where the Reds captain says, now it's time to get healthy.
We've got a long way to come back simply because of all the injuries we had last year, and everybody is optimistic, cautiously optimistic in the fact that we did have so many injuries, and we're trying to be a little more cautious this year.
Marge Schott, the principal owner of the Cincinnati Reds from 1985 to 1998, died Tuesday at the age of 75 after suffering from breathing problems over the last 3 weeks. While Schott was known to be fan-friendly, generous in charitable causes, a dog lover, and captivated by her beloved Reds, her legacy will be the offensive way she used her words. Baseball was forced to suspend Schott repeatedly for her disparaging remarks about various ethnic groups. Said former baseball commissioner Fay Vincent, "I always thought of her as a tragic figure." Eccentric? You could say that. Schott once settled a contract dispute by flipping a coin. The Reds plan to honor her on opening day. Plenty took place during Schott's ownership in Cincy. Pete Rose became baseball's all-time hits leader in '85. 3 years later, Tom Browning became the first Red to throw a perfect game. In '89, Rose banned from baseball. The following year, the Reds are world champions, and Barry Larkin became the first shortstop in big league history to join the 30-30 club.
It's a grapefruit opener against the Pirates. Good to see Adam Dunn swinging the big stick, driving in a couple of runs on a couple of doubles. This one plates Ryan Friel. Paul Wilson, meanwhile, gives up just 1 hit in 2 scoreless innings. And third baseman Edwin Encarnacion going deep for the solo home run as the Reds win it today, 6-3.
Okay, thank you, Harvey.
All right, we'll be right back.
In to be one of the Reds' 5 starters this year, but he isn't ready to pitch in a game yet due to injuries in spring training. Haynes threw on the side today for about 8 minutes. He will pitch batting practice on Monday. Dave Miley's men taking on the Phillies today. Jesus Sanchez on a minor league contract trying to earn a spot with the club, and he was extremely impressive as the Reds starter. He worked 3 scoreless innings, giving up 3 hits. Both teams having trouble scoring early. Mike Lieberthal hitting that ball out toward left center. Check out Ryan Friel grabbing it with his bare hand and gunning down A.J. Hinch rather easily at third base. We fast forward to the 9th inning. The game tied at 1. McKay Christensen with a bouncer up the middle for the base hit. And the Reds take a 2-1 lead. They couldn't hold it, though. The game went to extra innings. We're tied at 2 now in the 10th. That ball might be, could be, and is a homer by Robert Machado to give the Reds a 3-2 lead, but they couldn't hold it. Former Red Mike Budzinski, a very close friend of Sean Casey's, with a base hit to right that gave the Phillies the game-winning run. Philadelphia takes one in extras from the Reds by a 4-3 final score.
Let's go to Sarasota for Reds grapefruit action. Twins Johan Santana getting hit around the first. This is Barry Larkin going deep and exit stage left. Later, it's Jason LaRue to straightaway center. That's gone. 4-zip after one. That's it for the offense. How about some D for you? Well, Ken Griffey Jr. in center takes the scenic route but makes the fine catch. However, the Reds give up 7 straight runs. Joe Valentine gives up the last 3 in the 11th, and your final score is 7-4. Well, no one's putting out an APB on the Reds pitching staff. It's hard to call them armed and dangerous when no Reds pitcher reached double figures in wins last season. And while the Cubs and Astros have Cy Youngs in hand, Marshall Harris tells us Cincinnati still has high hopes this year.
Jimmy Haynes managed just 2 wins last season. When his back gave out, the Reds had no backup plan, a storyline all too familiar.
Missing most of last year. Really wasn't a good year for me. I was hurt pretty much the whole year, and like I said, just looking forward to getting out here and getting things going again.
Biceps tendonitis cut Paul Wilson's season short. He's had an ERA under 5 the last 3 seasons, but never more than 8 wins. Still, he refuses to pass the buck.
Our pitching is going to have to do the job, and I don't mind saying that, and I want to put the pressure on our pitching staff to go out there and compete with these other teams, and I think that we are more than capable of doing it.
The thought of all those Reds runs was enough persuasion to get Corey Lytle to ask, where do I sign up? He's trying to regain the form that gave him a 13-6 record with the A's in 2001.
One thing that stuck out to me was anytime starting pitcher had a quality start, I think they were like 44-16, so they're putting up runs.
With 2/5 of the rotation up in the air, it's very much like a coin toss, and it's hard to tell which pitchers will land in the final 2 spots. Former A's hurler Aaron Harang's hoping time spent in Oakland gives him an edge, while Jose Acevedo wants to pick up where he left off before a freak ankle injury last year. Whether it's Acevedo, Harang, or rookie Brandon Clausen, won't matter if the worst defense last season doesn't tighten up.
A lot of confidence factors with pitchers, and I know Don Gullett agrees with it, is if he's comfortable with the guys behind him, you know, they're being stressed to pitch to contact, our guys are going to catch the ball.
With a little D and some offense to back up their arms, Cincy's starting rotation plans to alter their pitching storyline and in the process, make a name for themselves. With a wide range of skills, Barry Larkin's already proven he's one of the greatest shortstops of all time. But in a lineup filled with younger players, the captain's leadership in the clubhouse may prove to be his most valuable tool this year.
Well, you know, I was, I guess, minutes away from walking out the door, getting on the plane, when I got a call back from from John Allen, said that Carl Linder wanted to talk to me. You know, I was going to play this year. I wanted to play in Cincinnati, but it didn't look like that was the desire of the front office at that time. It was only a matter of minutes. You know, if I got on that plane, General Allen probably wouldn't have called me back, and I probably wouldn't be here right now.
You were on the DL 3 times last year. How do you feel coming into this spring training?
I feel good. You know, some of the problems, some mechanical problems that I had last year, you know, I think I had a lot of issues, like with my feet, that led to the problems with my calves. And some of those have been addressed this offseason, so hopefully I won't have any problems. And then, you know, swinging and tearing a ligament in my hand, that's just one of those freak things that happens. And, you know, that doesn't bother me anymore. So hopefully I'll have a clean slate as well, and I'll be ready to go.
Obviously, your presence, you're such a veteran, and you're working with so many young guys, you know, in the starting lineup that, you know, projected to be there this year. Do you feel like you can really add something to these guys as far as just with your experience and all the things you've been through?
Well, yes, you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still around. Because, you know, we do have a lot of young guys, and, you know, young guys are going to have to step up and take control. And, you know, it's different hearing it from a coach, you know, to try to do this as opposed to a player who's right next to you and doing it and has been doing it for 18 years. So, you know, I think I can offer a lot to the young guys as well as some of the other guys, you know, more than anything, just a perspective, just trying to keep things in perspective. And, you know, but my captaincy or my leadership on this team doesn't just stop on the field. You know, we get away from the ballpark. We talk about things that don't happen on the baseball field, things that happen, you know, in personal lives. And, you know, so that's part of it as well.
When you're looking at this season, do you feel like a closure period coming on, or how are you kind of approaching the season? Any difference?
No, it's not right now. It's no different. It's just, you know, business as usual, going out there trying to work out all the kinks, trying to get through the soreness the first week of spring training, you know, and just doing the things that I normally do, you know, maybe towards the end of the season when it's really about to be over, maybe a little nostalgia at that particular point. But right now, it's just a matter of doing the things and trying to get ready to play the season.
To baseball now. Reds training camp in Florida, the Mariners in Arizona, and cross country, the Reds are in Sarasota, and somehow the talk is hot and heavy about shipping Ken Griffey Jr. back to Seattle. That's what the Seattle Times and a Seattle TV station are saying. Jr. has 5 years and more than $66 million left on his current contract. And Jr. was on that split squad that played the Tampa Bay Devil Rays today. Jr. struggled, 0 for 3, hit into this DP, left the game after striking out in the 5th. Austin Kern still rehabbing the shoulder, but it doesn't hurt when he swings like this. Deep off starter Paul Abbott. Abbott would serve up another. Corky Miller, big stick, doesn't hit one as well. Paul Wilson gives up 3. The Reds beat Tampa Bay 6-3. The other half of the squad in Bradenton against the Buccos, a 9-5 Reds victory. Brandon Larson goes yard and drives in 6 runs, which is kind of nice to see him swinging a good bat early on. If he could only keep that up during the regular season, Brandon's life would be a lot easier.
We'll be right back.
Larson continued his hot streak in Florida today, getting large with a 2-run job. Then he added a double and a single before leaving with a strained right foot. Jacob Cruz, he adds 2 hits, including a 2-run double. As Reds down the D-Rays 6-1 for their 4th straight win.
Bats are looking good down there so far. Anyway,
it's always nice to have wins, even though they mean absolutely nothing. But if you got to choose, why not win?
Looking for that optimism.
There you go.
We'll be right back.
Even for the Reds and the Jays, Ken Griffey Jr. taking Cy Young winner Roy Halladay deep. 2-run job, his first of the spring. And Willie Mopena added a little bit, a solo job. Jose Acevedo goes 4 shutout innings as the Reds win their 5th straight, 6-3. If only they would count.
Junior seems to be warming up a bit. That's good.
Yeah, it's always good to see him hit. You just hope that it carries over.
Yes, you do.
Nice when it's in the sunshine.
We'll be right back.
Time ago, I learned that wins and losses in spring training really don't mean anything. Just kind of makes you feel good.
You can't really put too much stock in the records of these teams because of all those guys wearing numbers that generally belong to offensive linemen.
77, 76. Nonetheless, I was feeling pretty good about that 5-game win streak that ended yesterday against Toronto. Today, split squad action, one group in Bradenton against the Pirates, where only this little cutie rivaled the weather. Oh yeah, look at her. Big Aaron Harang up for the legs, and he had some smoke on it today. Look at Craig Wilson, doesn't get a sniff of that slider. As for the Red Sticks, well, they were already up 2 in the 3rd for Harang when Steven Smitherman gives us, oh yeah, Dan, first this spring. Little stankity crankity. That's into the boys club. 2-run shot. Reds go on to win 7-3.
In their other game, the Reds lost to the Braves 6-3. Brandon Clausen was the starter. In 4 innings, he only gave up 1 earned run, but did allow 6 hits. He also struck out 4. Jimmy Haynes finally made his spring training debut and tossed a scoreless inning.
Jose Acevedo retiring the first 7 guys he faces. 5 solid innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 Ks. And turn back the clock time. That's former Red Pokey Reese going the other way, driving one in for the Red Sox. But Juan Castro gets the walk-off RBI double. 5-4, Reds win again.
Today in his pregame show, Marty Brennaman asked Reds manager Dave Miley for the causes behind the Reds' recent losses. And entering play today, they had lost 4 straight.
And 6 of the last 9. Miley pointed out that the Reds had played at least 1 more game than anybody else in Grapefruit League, and probably too many split squad games. Miley said his club had tired legs and tired arms. Well, they were split again today. Reds at Disney's Wide World of Sports for a little hookup with the Atlanta Braves. Top of the 4th, Tim Hummel going with the pitch to the right side. They're tied at 1-1, but then along comes Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson, this is going to be a no-doubter. He's playing street ball, put into the parking lot. Now, we have to show you this. A little rip coming to right center. Looks like an impending disaster. Jermaine Clark and Eddie Diane. Great catch, though. Reds fall short at Disney. Braves win it 6-3. Over in St. Pete, Jose Acevedo twirling today and down 4-0 in the 2nd. Reggie Taylor coming along and helping him out. Here we go, spanking. More street ball. Solo home run, Reds on the board. Ninth inning, down 2 outs. Looks like Ryan Friel might sneak one into the gap, but here comes Charles Gibson. Good morning, America. Nice run and catch. D-Rays take the Reds 6-4. The Reds go to work tomorrow against Pittsburgh, losers in 6 in a row.
Opening day, it does this every year, kind of sneaks up on you. Just 2 weeks away now, and that means more roster cuts. The casualties today, they include Felipe Lopez, Aaron Mayette, Dane Sardinia, and Reggie Taylor, all reassigned. Those that stayed got waxed by the Indians in Winter Haven today. Looked good for an inning or two. Javier Valenti, king of the castle, solo job in the second off Jason Stanford. It was the Reds' first and last lead of the game. Top 4, Tribe busted open. There's one error. And then coming up the center, here comes your second one. And 6 runs scored in the inning, 6-1 Indians. Jermaine Clark getting big in the 6th. What do you mean, you've never heard of Jermaine Clark? It's a 3-run shot. Reds still lose 11-4. There may be a little more of that this year. Who's that?
Jermaine Clark.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll be right back.
It was assumed that when Paul Wilson's start was skipped yesterday, manager Dave Miley was trying to set his rotation for the start of the season. But today, the Red skipper chooses not the veteran, but the newcomer as opening day starter. That's free agent signee Corey Lytle. Wilson's consolation prize, a start tonight against the Yankees. Let's go to Sarasota. Wilson goes 5 innings. Doesn't get any help here from Willie Mo Pena. Out in left field, Willie Mo off the glove. 2-base error. Run scores. Yankees up 1-zip. 2-0 to 6. 2-on-2 out for Junior. Single to right off. Jose Contreras, Adam Dunn, D'Angelo Jimenez. Come on down. We're all tied at 2 apiece until the top of the 8th. Chris Rietsma serves up the base hit to Darren Bragg. That plates the winning run. And those darn Yankees win it by the final score of 3-2. Just think, 13 days and counting till opening day.
Darn Yankees.
Yeah.
That doesn't count yet.
Baseball for you. Let's go to Lakeland, Florida. Reds teeing off on the Tigers in the first. This is Jason LaRue, and he goes deep, deep, deep to left field. The wind is blowing out there. 2-run blast. His second homer this spring. Next up, Jacob Cruz. He's fighting for a roster spot. Jacob Cruz bangs a solo shot. Adam Dunn also homers. Jose Acevedo makes his pitch for a starter spot. Goes 4 solid innings. The Reds outslug the Tigers 11-6. Hey, you can't blame the Reds for being ultra sensitive about this kind of stuff. They watch everyone get traded away last season, and now the team's most outstanding pitcher a year ago finds himself on a different team. Chris Rietsma is now an Atlanta Brave. Rietsma dealt to the Braves for a pair of pitching prospects, June Kyun Bong and Bubba Nelson. Actually, Nelson rated the number 3 prospect in Atlanta's farm system. This deal did not go over well in the Reds clubhouse. Sean Casey, irate, could not bring himself to play in today's game against the Phillies. But Adam Dunn did in the 4th off Kevin Millwood. That ball is toast. Straightaway center, his 4th homer of the spring, and that was plenty for Jesus Sanchez. 6 shutout innings, staring down that number 5 spot in the Reds rotation. Willie Mo Pena adds a grand slam in the 8th, and the Reds win it by your final count of 6-1.
Hey, in Sarasota, the Reds tried out their new bong. That would be pitcher June Kyun Bong, picked up from the Braves yesterday in the Chris Rietsma deal. By the way, while his last name will lead to a wide variety of lame jokes like the one I just told, Bong means good luck in his native Korea. Barry Larkin got a day off as the Reds faced the Indians today. Todd Van Poppel was the Reds starter, and Cleveland's Lou Merloni was among his victims. Van Poppel whiffed 6 in 4 innings while giving up 2 runs. The season begins in 9 days, and let's hope Adam Dunn doesn't cool off. He's hitting .378 and belted his 5th homer today. That's one off the Major League spring training lead. Dunn's slugging percentage is .892. He wasn't the only Red to die a long distance. Juan Castro drilled a 3-run bomb, his first of the spring, as the Reds scored 10 runs on 10 hits. 23-year-old newcomer June Kyun Bong got into the game in the 7th inning and pitched a scoreless frame. He allowed just 1 base runner on a walk and took care of him by getting the double play ball. 5 different relievers tossed a scoreless inning, including veteran Todd Jones, who pitched a routine 9th. The Reds win their 4th straight. They hammered the Indians today 10-2. When the Reds reported to spring training, the only player who showed up late was pitcher Jesus Sanchez. Visa problems kept him in the Dominican Republic for a couple of extra days. Well, all's forgiven. The 29-year-old lefty was considered a long shot to make the team when he signed a minor league contract in January, but he looks like a lock to come north now. In fact, he could be in the starting rotation. Sanchez has pitched for the Marlins, Cubs, and Rockies and was frequently wild for those teams. But this spring with the Reds, he's only walked 4 batters in 18 innings and has a 2.00 ERA.
If you look at his numbers in the past, he's had, some control and command problems. And, this spring he's worked real close with Don Gullett and Tom Hume, and he's throwing the ball well, and he's throwing strikes, and he's using his, his off-speed stuff. But, he's the one guy that stands out as far as, what we're trying to get out of these guys. And, he's done a terrific job.
Evening, everyone. With March Madness becoming March Sadness for Xavier overnight. Opening day now front and center, only a week away. Starting to get the sense now that Reds players are getting sick of hearing how bad the year is going to be. These guys have been good, though. And I know it's spring training, but you really can't ignore the numbers. Adam Dunn, 395 long balls. Has Willie Mopena finally turned the corner? Sure looks like it. Ryan Friel, he's still getting it done. So are Aaron Harang and Jose Acevedo, as they battle for a spot in the rotation, looking good. And Ryan Wagner, pretty much unhittable. But here's one thing that hasn't changed. Junior's hurt again. Tonight in Sarasota against the Pirates, strained a calf muscle, running out a ground ball. Doesn't really look serious, though. And remember Willie Mo's stats? Add one more long one and one more RBI. Big fly to right center, and the Reds down 2-1. Adam Dunn up next. Add one more for Dunner. This one to left center, all knotted up at 2. Acevedo looks good again, and D'Angelo Jimenez, clutch knock over Mondesi's head with 2 on in the 7th. Reds win it 6-2. And what says opening day more than lots and lots of Local 12? Live coverage of the Findlay Day Market Parade beginning at 11 a.m. I'll MC the Local 12 Reds rally on Fountain Square before that at 10 a.m. And then the Reds and the Cubs 2:10 first pitch from Great American Ballpark.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Looking in the mirror, I know that I've given this team everything I had, and that's all that really matters.
In his last 4 years with Seattle, Ken Griffey Jr. averaged 52 home runs. Last year with the Reds, he played in 53 games, and the number that he's played in has gone down in 5 straight seasons. The calf injury that Jr. suffered running on a ground ball last night doesn't appear to be serious, thankfully, but Jr. will take a few days off to fully recover. It's the 4th straight year that he has been hurt. By the 5th game of the season, Junior says there isn't much he can do about it.
I'm going to catch 22. If I don't dive for that ball, well, I'm not giving it 100%. Now, I do dive, and everybody's like, whoa, you shouldn't have dove. I pulled a hammy in my first year. Oh, he doesn't work hard in the offseason. He doesn't do this. Well, I've seen world-class athletes pull hammies. I mean, Michael Johnson did it, but, oh, he doesn't work hard enough. I mean, there's certain things that you can't control, and getting hurt's one of them.
Junior had been struggling this spring, batting .158 with 1 home run. Brandon Larson, on the other hand, was having a great spring, batting .462 with 8 runs batted in 5 games. But Brandon won't be in the lineup on opening day. Larson's been out of action for about 3 weeks with an injured toe and was placed on the disabled list today. Brandon is eligible to come off on April 10th, which would be the Reds' 5th game of the season. Ryan Friel figures to fill in for Larson at 3rd, and he went 3 for 4 today as the Reds beat the Twins 8-2. Aaron Harang pitched into the 6th inning and gave up just 1 run. He's 3-0 this spring with a 1.82 ERA. The Reds open the season on Monday against the Cubs and won't have to worry about facing Mark Pryor in that series or when they go to Wrigley for 4 days in the middle of the month. Pryor, who is 18-6 in his first full big league season, is expected to be out until the beginning of May due to an Achilles tendon injury and stiffness in his right elbow. The Reds trimmed 6 players from the roster today, including 3 outfielders. Willie Mopena was not among them, so it looks like Willie Mo has made the club. 1 pitcher still has to go by opening day. And lefty Jesus Sanchez did not help his cause by giving up 5 runs in less than 2 innings in today's 5-1 loss to the Blue Jays. That came after starter Jimmy Haynes pitched 5 scoreless innings. The loss evens the Reds' spring training record at 16-16. The Reds face the Pirates tomorrow. They are 6-1 against Pittsburgh this spring. Danny Graves pitched a scoreless inning today, lowering his spring training ERA to 1.38. Graves is happy to be back in the bullpen and determined to help the Reds win some games.
As a whole, we have decided we need to win for this organization. Regardless of who's in charge or who's who, I think we all feel responsible that we need to get the Reds back on top. It's been ugly the last few years. Nobody wants to come see the Reds play, you know. Nobody wants to do anything with the Cincinnati Reds. But we need to bring that tradition back.
In 5 games, Sanchez 1-2 with an ERA over 4, meaning the Reds begin the season with just 1 southpaw on the entire pitching staff. Here it is. Corey Lytle, your opening day starter. After that, pick your poison: Paul Wilson, Jimmy Haynes, Jose Acevedo, Aaron Harang, Todd Jones, Brian Reith, John Riedling in the pen, Todd Van Poppel, the long reliever, Phil Norton, the lone lefty, Ryan Wagner's your setup man, Danny Graves back to the closer spot. The outfield is dangerous if it's healthy. Junior, Kearns, Dunn, and William Opeña the backup. Sean Casey at first, D'Angelo Jimenez at second, Larkin at short, Ryan Friel going to open the season at third, and Juan Castro and Ray Almeida are backups. Jason LaRue and Corky Miller behind the plate, and Javier Valentin is also going to be a backup, and backup Casey at first. Reds happy to be in Bradenton today because they've beaten the Bucks in 6 of 7 tries. Third inning, D'Angelo Jimenez hitting like the big boys. Taking Chris Benson out to right for his first of the spring. That ties it up at 2. Todd Van Poppel starts, though he is going to open the season as long reliever. Tattooed by Bobby Hill. Van Poppel gives up 4 runs in 4 innings. Sean Casey knocks in a pair of runs, a couple of hits as the Reds score the last 6 runs to win 8-4 and move 1 game over 500 for the spring.